not. And look at this base. Look at this makeup. Yeah. And guess what the best part is? This is all drugstore makeup. Not one single high-end product. And I'm going to show you the entire routine. So get locked in. I'm going to show you how you can also get filter allegations with all drugstore makeup products.
This makeup routine from Shelby Ann on TikTok has been going viral, and everybody has been pointing out that she has a filter on her videos, and she is saying it is not a filter, it is her makeup. So today we are going to be doing her entire routine. I have most of the product that she used and or similar product that she used. So let's get into this video. Let's test out this entire foundation routine. Face is fully cleansed, and we are going to watch what Shelby Ann has to say about her foundation routine.
Let's start with my Thayer's Hydrating Milky Toner. This is my favorite toner, easily, right now. Look at the instant hydration that this gives. My skin looks so plump and gorgeous and dewy.
First, she starts off with the Thayer's Hydrating Milky Toner. I actually don't have that one, but I do have this one. It is the Ordinary Milky Toner, and we're going to put that one all over my face today. And this is actually, like, it is milky. Woo! Super runny, super milky, but we're gonna apply this. This isn't as, like, hers looks more like jelly. It looks more thicker in consistency, and this is definitely more of a liquid product, whereas hers looks a little bit more gelish. But we're gonna put this all over the face because that's exactly what she does. She puts on a milky toner.
And for my serum today, I'm going in with the e.l.f. Thirst Burst drops. I wish you guys knew how many filter allegation comments I've received over the past 6 months. It's insane.
So next she goes in with the e.l.f. Thirst Burst drops. I do actually have those. I picked them up for a different video that is on my channel, but these are the e.l.f. Thirst Burst drops. So she just like gingerly put this all over her face. And these are actually supposedly a dupe for the Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dew Drops. And she put like a lot on.
My favorite sunscreen from the drugstore is the e.l.f. Sun Touchable Woe Glow. Using the Sunbeam shade, which is I think like the original, like tinted but barely tinted. This is what your skin should look like before you put your makeup on top of it. Literally nearly reflective.
So she does use the e.l.f. Sun Touchable SPF. I don't have that one, but that Sun Touchable SPF actually has like a luminescent feature to it, and she like points out that her face looks very like reflective, like an ice rink. So I do have the Bright Light Primer Base from Makeup Revolution. This was like the closest thing that I could think would match it. I think it's a little bit darker, but oh no, that's right. That's a pretty good look alike. I don't actually have the Sun Touchable sunscreen from e.l.f., but she says that your skin needs to look reflective. And I thought this would be like the best representation of that, and hopefully it mixes well with the other product, because we kind of are going a little bit off book with the process here, but I mean, we're trying to stay on book, right? And I'm also using all drugstore products, so does my face look like an ice rink? Feels really tacky, sticky, dewy. Does it look like an ice rink? Leave me a comment down below.
Reflective. Favorite drugstore foundation by far is the L'Oreal True Match. I'm obsessed. Mine is in the shade C3, and I actually got some new of the restock of the Paw sponges yesterday, so I'm actually gonna be blending it out with that, which I normally don't do. I normally am very much a brush girly, but these are quite literally the softest makeup sponges, and they're super inexpensive. And same as last time, we're avoiding our under eye area because we only want to use concealer there. How far will we get into this makeup tutorial before I get something on this white shirt? I'm pretty sure I already did.
So she then goes in with the L'Oreal True Match. This is a reformulation. I did do a video on it with a full wear test, and I actually love this foundation. I have the shade C1, so we're going to put this on. She said usually she applies it with a brush, but in this specific video, she applies it with a sponge. So, and it was because she just got in the Paw sponges. So I'm actually just going to use a Real Technique sponge, put it on. How many pumps does she use? That's a good, yeah. How many pumps does she use?
C3.
1, 2.
restock of the Pawpaw sponges yesterday, so I'm actually gonna be blending it out with that, which I normally don't do.
She uses like 3 pumps of foundation. She like does a pump here, a pump here, a pump here, and then kind of like finishes it off. I have 1 pump on my foundation plate and she did 3. Okay, 2. Y'all, that's a lot of foundation. That is such a high amount of foundation. Oh my goodness. Like you can see it dripping off of her skin, but she like just goes in and she pats this in. I'm actually gonna grab my mirror real quick. And she's like, oh, you need more makeup. Oh, and she said not to go up to the eyes. So don't go up to all the way up to the eyes. Okay. So she also said to avoid the under eye area. So I'm trying to do that as much as possible. We're trying to avoid it. The shade C1. Actually, this looks a little bit, no, it's still a pretty good shade match for me. I'm starting to get like a little bit of a tan only because like, you know, summer's coming and I've been outside a lot. I did get a little bit there, so we're just trying to wipe it away. 3 pumps of foundation though. She used so much foundation. Now, this person, Shelby, she looks like she's a little bit more in her 20s. I'm 36 years old. So sometimes a lot of foundation, it really can like, it doesn't look good on like aged skin, mature skin. But I mean, we're just going to follow this routine and we're going to see how it looks after we're done. 3 pumps of foundation, y'all. That's a lot of foundation. I can't believe how much foundation that is. Like, I can't believe how much I have on my face. I never put this much on. Usually I do like a pump and then I'm done. You can also see a lot of my blue now that my foundation has not been like covering it at all. So she does avoid just basically the eyes in general. So we're not going to put any on the eyelids either. So this just feels like a lot of foundation. We're just blending this all in. Apparently the concealer is going to help with the blue edge situation edge that we have here edge.
One of my favorite concealers from the drugstore, Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer Healthy Skin. This is a dupe for the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. And then I also love the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Wear Concealer. I like this one to brighten, so I'm just going to do the tiniest dot under the inner corner. And then I'm going to use my Neutrogena one. Okay, this one's pretty bright too. Well, we're just going to have a nice bright under eye today. I'm telling you, being a little bit more heavy-handed with your makeup is really what's going to make it last and what's going to make it look like you have a filter on. Don't be scared of doing a little extra makeup.
So she said that she used a Neutrogena Radiant Creamy Concealer, which is supposed to be a dupe for the NARS Creamy Concealer. I don't have that concealer. I do have the Maybelline Fit Me one, which I feel like that one is also a dupe for the Creamy Concealer from NARS, so I do have that one. And then she also used the L'Oreal Infallible, and it helps brighten up her under eyes. The only type of concealer I have right now that isn't really like a shade for shade match for me would be my LYS Serum Concealer. So she gingerly places these all over.
Inner corner. And then I'm going to use my Neutrogena one.
Wow, she like put that way, like she takes the concealer and she goes like here, okay, here, and here so far. This is a pretty creamy concealer. I do like this concealer. So I'll do the same on this side. Okay, brightening, concealing. Okay, so she also put a couple of dots on her nose with the Radiant Creamy Concealer from Neutrogena. So we're gonna do that. Oh my gosh, this feels like 2016 makeup. Oh my. And then she also put like a lot right here. And hers is actually like kind of pretty brightening. So I think I might actually add in a little bit of the LYS just to like brighten it up as well. Because hers is like super bright. So we'll just add it like right right there. Oh, and then she does it here and she does it here too. That's a lot. She's like, don't be afraid of the makeup. Don't be afraid of putting on a lot of makeup. Like, this is a lot of makeup. Okay. That's what we have. And she doesn't show herself blending it out, so I'm just going to blend it out with my Beauty Blender real quick. Okay, so this is one eye done. It's a lot of concealer. Like, I'm not going to lie. That is so much concealer. One thing about the sponge is it like lifts away some of the product. So like That is a nice thing about using a sponge as opposed to a brush. With a brush, you're going to get more coverage. Just keep that in mind.
Okay, let's do cream bronzer. My absolute favorite drugstore cream bronzer. Milani Cheek Kiss. I'm in the shade Spilling Tea. This is such a good cream bronzer. I'm telling you right now, you need her. Like, if you don't already have her in your makeup routine, go get it. I'm applying this with my BK Beauty 106 brush. Again, I'm being heavy-handed, but this is a full beat. This is a full glam. To look like you actually have makeup on, you gotta put that on.
So she puts on a cream bronzer. She has the Milani one, but I actually have the Juvia's Place new cream bronzer in the shade Buttercream. This is actually a really similar shade to what she's using. And she is putting it like right here, like on the cheek. And she just like really stipples it into the skin. And she also adds it up here. So like this is what she's doing. And then she also adds it to the other side of her face and goes up her forehead as well. She's like, put that crap on, make it look like you're wearing makeup. Okay. But again, I'm 36 years old. If I put on too much, this is just not going to work for me. So is this foundation routine going to work for somebody who's in their 30s?
Liquid and cream blushes from the drugstore are hard to come by, but this one from SheGlam is actually really good. And I know this isn't technically drugstore, you can't walk into CVS and buy this, but it's affordable, okay? Don't come for me. Shade Petal Talk, by the way, and it is such a cute baby pink, which I'm obsessed with at the moment. Also,
okay, so she does the blush and it is from SheGlam, which I don't have. So we're just going to use a Flower Beauty. This is their blush wand, the ultralight wand in Peachy. Love this shade, and she blends it out with a brush. So I do have a specific brush that I like to use for my cream product. It's a Sigma brush, and it is the Small Duo Fiber. So we're just going to blend this out, kind of keeping it more back this way. She doesn't really show herself blending it out, just the application process. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Also, I know you're probably tired of hearing this, but the Blurfection loose powder from L'Oreal is that girl. This is such a good drugstore loose setting powder. I'm using the shade Pink Light. It's so finely milled. It looks so gorgeous under the eyes. I'm obsessed with it, truly. Like, I really do think this is the loose powder from the drugstore. Using it on a powder puff, and I'm just pressing it underneath the under eye. How instantly bright that is, and my under eye looks so smooth.
And then she uses the L'Oreal Blurfection powder. This is actually a new makeup release. It is only available at Target and on TikTok Shop right now. And the shade that she uses is the pink one. I actually have the translucent one. How does she apply this? Because that's going to make a difference.
Setting powder. I'm using the shade Pink Light. It's so finely milled. It looks so gorgeous under the eyes. How instantly bright that is, and my under eye looks so smooth. It's really good. Give her a try. This is only at Target, by the way. And I like to set with powder everywhere that we did that concealer earlier.
So everywhere that we did concealer, and she said she does it and presses it on her under eye, and then we're just going to do here. So anywhere that we did concealer. Look how smooth the under eye is, though, actually. That. Okay, so my face looks pretty, like, blurred. Right? Very matte, though. Like, super matte. Okay, we're still going, because we're not done. I feel like I have a lot of makeup on.
I need to be in this meeting in 4 minutes. I'm not even kidding. Okay, we've got the L'Oreal Infallible Bronzer in the shade Medium 350. Put this right over the top of where we did our cream bronzer. Tap and then kind of lightly blend backwards towards my hairline. This is the layering technique that I'm always talking about. This is what's going to make the makeup last. You've got a layer of powder over the top of all of your cream and liquid products, and so your makeup is not going to budge. It's going to stay on for hours. It's going to look flawless. Much of this makeup routine is L'Oreal because they are just killing it in drugstore makeup right now.
Okay, so she did her brows, which I did do my brows. She does use the L'Oreal Infallible Bronzer. I have the shade 250 Light, and she really packs this on.
Medium 350. Put this right over the top of where we did our cream bronzer. Tap and then kind of lightly blend backwards towards my hairline. This is the layering technique that I'm always talking about. This is what's going to make the makeup last. You've got a layer of powder over the top of all of your cream and liquid products, and so your makeup is not going to budge. It's going to stay on for hours. It's going to look flawless. much of this makeup routine is L'Oreal because they are just killing it in drugstore makeup right now. We also have the L'Oreal Infallible Confident Pink Blush. When I tell you you need the tiniest bit of this because it is so pigmented, you cannot tell me that's not a pretty blush. That's stunning. But it's pigmented, okay?
So she used the L'Oreal Infallible Blush. I don't have that one. I do have these though, and I'm just going to use the bright poppy, like peachy pink shade out of this to apply the blush. And honestly, she said that like the L'Oreal one, you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of this one either. Like it's super pigmented. So this is what the base is looking like so far. We haven't even set it with setting spray yet.
I really have a highlighter to recommend. So I need a recommendation for that also. I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist. This is like hairspray for face. So prepare yourself because it is going to be heavy duty. It's going to choke you a little bit, but your makeup will not budge. This is a dupe for the One Size Until Dawn. Smells like hairspray. Low-key feels like hairspray, but it holds your makeup in place. I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist. This is like hairspray for face. So prepare yourself because it is going to be heavy duty. It's going to choke you a little bit, but your makeup will not budge.
Okay, so she did use the L'Oreal Infallible. This is the aerosol setting spray. I've actually been kind of raving about this one lately. I absolutely love it. Your makeup does not budge. So I know how this product works and I really do like it. It does feel like hairspray, but it doesn't let your makeup move. So I just sprayed my entire face with it and now we're just letting it dry down. She also said that she doesn't have a highlighter that she uses and she needs recommendations for that. So usually what I like to do is I like to put on all of my product, set my face, and then put my highlight on because it kind of picks up that like grippy feel of the setting spray. But we're not going to put a highlight on right now because she didn't do one in her routine today.
Lip combo, we're doing NYX Duck Plump Lip Liner. This is a tingly lip liner, okay? You're gonna feel it, but it's beautiful and it's a very creamy, like pigmented formula. I'm using the shade Subtle Touch. A little bit of L'Oreal Caramel Latte on the lip. And we're gonna top it off with a Maybelline gloss in the shade Ice. Oh, I love a good concealer lip.
So for lips, she did use a NYX Duck Plumping Lip Liner, and it was in like a darker brown shade. So we did use just the Makeup Forever. This is the Anywhere Caffeine Lip Liner. Then I topped it off with Hustle from e.l.f. This is their O Satin lipstick. And then I just put the Plump Ambition in shade 201 on top, and it's kind of got that concealer lip look, not really, but I mean, we tried. I don't really have any kind of lip products that look exactly like hers, but I mean, it's kind of there. So I'm gonna hop off camera and do my eyes real quick, and then we will hop back on camera to see the full face.
There is the glam, all finished, no filter, no edits. Just stunning, beautiful, gorgeous makeup. I am obsessed. This eats. I don't care what anybody says.
Okay, so this is what the face looks like from a reasonable distance. We're gonna zoom in. Actually, I'm gonna zoom in like this. Let's see what the face looks like. Okay, so the Blurfection powder is really nice. What I don't like about her routine is that she does not immediately settle like the concealer and the foundation. So I do notice that it is settling into some of my fine lines and wrinkles. And that's because it took a minute for her to actually set her face in that routine. So I would honestly do like all the concealer and all of that, and then I would do the powder and then go in with the blush and bronzer because you're only patting down the areas where you did the concealer. But it does look pretty blurred. Other than that, it looks pretty like filtery in an essence. What do you guys think of how it looks? Now, my other question is this gonna really like last throughout the day? There's a lot of makeup on my face and it's like kind of alarming how much makeup is on my face, and I really wish that she like there's so much makeup on my face, and she said that the whole point of having so much makeup is so that it lasts throughout the day. I've actually had less makeup last me like 12 hours with some of the foundation wear tests I have done, so I'm curious to see how this is going to last even for like 8 hours. This is what the face looks like. Let me know your comments down below what you think of this like flawless filter Shelby and foundation routine.